Yeah.
So our coworker Chad, shout out, loyal listener, he made a special request that Cosmo has not made an appearance on the pod yet. So I just wanted to start the pod with my baby boy here. He's a good guy. He's getting really scraggly. Got big floofy hair right now. It's pretty good. Here you go, Chad. It's just for you. All right. Well, what's up, boys? There's a new face here, new friendly face. Welcome, David, everyone.
Hey, man. How's it going?
Hey. David and I have been good friends for a long, long time. And he plays video games and likes them and stuff.
Yeah. Super excited to be doing this.
So, it is the Steam Summer Sale well upon us. So we're definitely going to be talking about, some games that caught our eye that are on sale. And then we haven't done a podcast, Dom, since all of the Microsoft game announcements and Switch game announcements.
It's been a while.
Yeah. So, obviously a lot of people online have shared their opinions. So we're just going to go through it really quickly and just point out the ones that stood out to us. Just mention a few from each showcase. And that's about it. Yeah. Should be a good kind of quick, concise show. I have a heart out. I'm a big time deal now, guys. I got like a heart out. I got places to be. So,
better places to be, apparently.
Well, So I noticed a couple things right off the bat. I know a lot of people, including myself, have been waiting for Lies of P to go more on sale than it's been. Right now it's $36, which is the lowest it's been, so that's pretty rad. Also, Armored Core 6 is $42 on sale. It went on sale a little bit ago, but it, FromSoft games pretty rarely go on sale, so it's kind of a big deal. And then Dragon's Dogma 2 is on sale for the first time ever at $56.
Great game.
Yeah, Dom, I know you love that game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of waiting to jump in. 56 is kind of the price of normal video games in my head still, so I'm not gonna buy it.
Yeah.
But once it gets to like $30 or something, I'll pick it up. Lies of P is really tempting me, though. I really, really, really want to play Lies of P.
Yeah, Lies of P is like right up my alley, dude, so I'm pretty stoked to pick that one up.
Totally. Yeah, Sam and I have some friends that are kind of new to gaming, or at least like jumping back into it, and they got an Xbox Series S along with Game Pass, and one of the first games they played was Lies of P, and they beat it.
That's extremely impressive.
Which is, impressive. So shout out. Yeah. Shout out Katie and Ray. But I thought this was a good excuse for us to also just talk about some games we really like that happen to be on sale. Dom, I can throw it to you if you want to mention your picks.
Yeah. One of my favorite games is Star Wars Dark Forces, and they have that remastered one for $19. I'm definitely picking up that today.
Heck yeah.
I love those old Lucas games.
Do you know how much it is normally? Is it like 30?
It's normally 30.
Okay.
So, $10.
Yeah.
Not too bad. And then games that I recommend to get because they're so heavily discounted is Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2, because they're like $3 right now.
Heck yeah.
And I'm a huge Dragon Age fan. Played the crap out of them on PS3 days. I think PS4. No, I think they're both PS3 games. Max Payne 3, which still runs
Mhm.
and looks great, and that's also like, I don't know, $3 or $6 or something.
Dude, that's a game that whenever people on Reddit ask the same 4 questions, I think, on every like niche subreddit, but on the Steam Deck subreddit, people all the time are like, "What games blow you away with how well they run and how good they look?" And Max Payne 3 is always like one of the first few answers, and it does. It runs at a solid 60 at like max graphics, no problem, and also just looks beautiful.
Wow.
It's like a good-looking game to
Yeah.
this day for sure.
That game held up so well for being as old as it is.
Yeah.
Um, and then I don't have a Steam Deck, but there's a little Steam Deck section on the Steam sale. And one of the games that caught my eye is Death Must Die, which just looks like chaos and fun, like Vampire Survivor style. Like, I'm all about it.
Yep.
And I'm just crying a little bit inside because it's recommended for Steam Deck and I don't have one yet.
I know people love that game, and yeah, especially on Steam Deck. Steam Deck is so perfect for just like Vampire Survivor likes. It's dangerous.
Definitely. Definitely. And then a couple games that I want to get is Kingdom Come Deliverance. That's on sale too. I think it's under $10. I don't remember. I'm not gonna go look because it's chaotic on the Steam. If you go to the Steam store page right now, it's just never ending. But
It's
that,
$6.
I know
It's $6.
$6. Okay, super good price.
Mm-hmm. It's a good
And
game.
I know the new one is out now.
Mm-hmm.
Is 2 out, so could pick that up before I go. And then something I saw at like one of the PlayStation Direct or whatever their PlayStation's things called was this game called Teardown, which is like you just destroy stuff and it's all like Lego sim or like Minecraft like blocky sim. And it looks super fun, and I bet you if I bought that right now, I would play for about 5 hours and then never play it again, but it looks so fun.
Yeah, dude, I've played Teardown. I don't think we've talked about that before, Dom. Teardown's really
Oh, you
good.
have?
I don't know if I played it more than 5 hours myself, but it's one of those games that just like really relies on its physics system, like Red Faction Gorilla or whatever. It's like you could describe
Oh,
someone the
yeah.
plot of the game or like the look of it. It doesn't matter. It's just like the physics is the really cool part. And yeah,
Definitely.
Teardown does have that look of kind of like Minecraft with a ray trace shader mod or something.
Mhm.
It's very cool. That game's very neat.
It looks rad. So I'm glad that I know someone that played it and has also only spent around 5 hours on
Yeah.
it. But I still want it.
Yeah. No, it's really good. They give you like these really fun little objectives that seem really simple, and then you have to, there'll be a mission where it's like steal these 3 cars in under 3 minutes. And so you have to kind of survey the map that you're dropped into, kind of come up with like a game plan, and then when you try and execute it, because the physics system's like so in depth and wild, it just feels like kind of anything can happen and probably will go wrong. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It runs okay on Steam Deck, for reference.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it runs at like 30 frames, because with the physics and lighting, it winds up being a kind of heavy game.
Okay. But that's my little list. If I wanted to, I can probably make it 100 games, but I limited myself.
Totally. All right, Davey, what you got?
Yeah, so I kind of made a pretty extensive list actually, but I can kind of just talk through everything as quick as I can, maybe go in depth on like a few of these items. But starting off with the Resident Evil games, I mean, I feel like these ones always go on sale for quite a bit. Right now, Village is on sale for 16. The 2 remake is on sale for 10, and the 4 remake is on sale for 30. And if you're gonna get any of them, I definitely can recommend Village, even if you haven't really played any of the other ones before it. That one's just
Totally.
fantastic. I think you've played a little bit of Village too, right, Jaydon?
Oh, yeah.
I played through some of it. It's very good. It's very, very good. I think they've almost learned from the remakes how to make their new ones feel kind of nostalgic even. Like I almost felt nostalgia playing it even though it's a new Resident Evil game. It's very good.
Definitely.
Fun fact, sorry to interrupt, but fun fact, David, you lent me your PS5, which is where I first started playing Village, and there's like this kind of big long or like maybe 30-minute opening thing before you can save for the first time. And when I went to save for the first time, I saw David save, and our saves were, I think, less than 3 seconds apart. And it's like not the most linear thing. So I love that we played the intro to that game in the exact same amount of time. It's very nice. Very cute.
Yeah, that's honestly super crazy. Like that shouldn't happen. Um, but yeah, the next game I have on the list is Elden Ring. It's one of my favorite games that's come out in the last couple of years. They just released a really massive DLC for it. It's I just finished playing it yesterday, actually. Just beat the final boss. Still got some collectibles to go get, but for the most part, I've done pretty much everything there is to do in it.
How long did it take you to get through?
It probably took me about maybe 50 or 60 hours to get through the whole thing.
Damn. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's really big. It's basically just another like game, honestly, on top of the base game. So highly recommend going through those if you can. The next game I wanted to bring up is Deep Rock Galactic, if you guys have heard of that before.
I've heard of it. Rock and Stone, brother. Something like that. That's what the internet taught me.
Yeah, that's like what the catchphrase that the little dwarf guys say. But yeah, basically you play as these little dwarf characters. It's kind of got a similar vibe to like a Left 4 Dead type of game where it's like 4-player co-op.
Okay.
But you're kind of digging down and mining into the earth to find like resources and stuff like that. And you fight all these different kinds of aliens. There's like special kinds of aliens, just like there's special zombies in Left 4 Dead. But yeah, it's a really good time. And it's only like $10 right now, so definitely recommend that. Doom Eternal is another one that's on sale for super cheap right now. Definitely worth picking up if you have an itch to play a first-person shooter type game. But yeah, it's just a fantastic game. Total War Warhammer 3, if anyone likes playing strategy games. The only caveat being that you kind of have to buy a couple games before it if you want to have like all of the races unlocked to play. But even if you don't want to do that, it's still a very good game, and it's on sale for like $30 right now, so I can highly recommend that one too. And then next, to kind of scratch the open world game itch, I put Cyberpunk and Red Dead on here.
Yeah, it's I keep trying to throw in the Steam Deck perspective when it makes sense. Both those games surprisingly run well enough on Steam Deck. Red Dead is like a showcase, man. You can run it. You can get it running at 60 frames per second if you want to. You know, you have to do some finicky stuff, but it runs at 30 or 40 and looks gorgeous. And then Cyberpunk, as long as you're okay with like upscaling, it'll run at 30 frames per second. It's like playable, but not ideal. I know a lot of people have put like 200 hours on Steam Deck and are just having a blast, but yeah, those are both like just, hey, look at what the Steam Deck can do. Isn't this insane? I showed someone Red Dead 2 when I first got the Steam Deck, and they were just like mind blown. I'll throw it in. The Steam Deck is on sale. The OLED is not, but the 64 gigabyte Steam Deck original LCD and the 512 gigabyte Steam Deck are on sale. Weirdly enough, not the middle one, the 256 gigabyte, which means the larger storage size is cheaper than the middle storage size. I don't know what's going on there, but it is the facts. But you can get a Steam Deck for under $300 for the first time with this sale. So
next, if you're into fighting games at all, I put down Street Fighter 6 on here because that's actually on sale for like 30 right now, I think.
Heard the story mode is pretty good on Street Fighter as well, right? That's like kind of a new mode for the series, I think.
Yeah, the campaign for it's actually really cool. It's kind of like a goofy like a goofy time overall, but it's a lot of fun. And even if you didn't want to play for the competitive aspect of the game, I think it's honestly even potentially worth it just to get it for the campaign and try that out. So yeah,
Yeah, I have it wishlisted just because of that campaign. It looks really, really neat.
And then the last thing that I had on here was Hades and Hades 2. I think Hades is like $10 right now. So I mean,
Yeah, such a deal. I've started playing Hades 2, and it's one of those sequels where um I don't know, I think Ori is my perfect example for this, where like I love Ori 1 and Ori 2, but Ori 2 just kind of feels like an upgrade in basically every way. So it's like kind of hard to recommend the first one at times. For Hades 1 and 2, if anything, they're just kind of different. They're both like the same quality level. They're both as addicting. So if you haven't played either, pick up the first one for $10 and try it out. Super good.
but yeah, it's pretty much all I have.
I will give my short list since I did kind of just the general sale stuff at the beginning. One of my favorite games of all time, Borderlands 2, is $3. It goes on sale a lot, so you probably already own it. But if you don't, $3 for Borderlands 2 is nuts. And then you can get it with DLC for $8. It took me way too long to realize that it's basically Diablo as a first-person shooter. So if you love loot games, it definitely has that. The Messenger, one of my deep cuts, is incredible. NES/SNES style platformer, action platformer. If you like Shovel Knight but want to get your dick kicked in, that's that's basically my recommendation. The main mechanic of the game is anytime you hit someone with your basic attack, you get your jump back. So you kind of you know how in Mario you basically get in the habit of holding down the run button and then like positioning your thumb to jump. This is almost a similar thing where you press the attack button and you like roll to jump, since every time you attack you get another jump. So you get in this like mode of like kind of tapping two buttons with one thumb, and it's very mechanically satisfying. Dom and I were having a conversation the other day where I realized that I almost don't care about anything in a game except like good control feel. So the Messenger is definitely one of those. Very like clicky, mechanically satisfying as a platformer. Balloons Tower Defense 6 is on sale for $1.40. I think that's the cheapest it's ever been on sale, and I did buy it for that price. It's a mobile game, so it runs really, really well on Steam Deck or anything else. Apparently, even as you get into the like later levels where the entire path is just like sprites overlaying on top of each other, apparently it still runs really well. So if you like tower defense games, that's like, I think, probably the best. And I think that's all I had. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, you guys play any of those three? Borderlands, Messenger, or Balloons?
I've played a little bit of Balloons and honestly had a blast with it.
Yeah.
And I honestly completely love Borderlands 2. It's like one of my favorite games that I've played for sure. Absolutely loved playing it back in the day.
Yep.
Definitely not as much of a fan of like Borderlands 3 or the other games in the series, I guess, but that one specifically, I've had so much fun with it. So,
aren't you excited for the movie?
dude, I honestly didn't even know they were doing a movie. So I mean, oh man, I don't know what to think.
I'm so nervous.
I mean, if anything, if it turns out like Fallout, where I just didn't have any expectations for it, and it turns out to be amazing, like that's hopefully best case. But I mean, I can't see it being that good, honestly.
I don't know. It looks interesting and very. I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I'm afraid.
Yeah. I
Looks
love
very
Jamie Lee
interesting.
Curtis, so I'm happy to see her in that universe, I guess, and that's about it. That's my expectations.
And that's it.
Well, with that out of the way, we can move on to games that have been announced recently. David, you mentioned Doom Eternal, which I've been replaying. It is, ironically, I have been replaying this while Sam and I watch Bridgerton. So, ripping dudes' spines, like, out of their body and then whacking it into someone else and whatever as, like, prim and proper ladies are drinking tea on the TV is really good. But yeah, this trailer got me excited enough to go back and play Doom Eternal, which is excellent.
Oh yeah.
David, I would like to know your thoughts on this trailer. I think as a man who likes Doom.
Honestly, this trailer looks so fucking cool, man. I mean, I feel like Eternal kind of like really built upon all of the systems from 2016 about as much as you can. So in this one, they kind of had to get a little bit creative with what they were going to go for, and they've seemingly already knocked it out of the park. I mean, looking at this gun where it's literally just grinding skulls and shooting off pieces of bone at enemies, the chainsaw shield where you can toss it, looks like you could block things like as he's doing right here. Um, it bounces and comes back to you like a boomerang. I mean, it looks like there's so many cool new things, and they're going for this really primitive style that just seems super fucking cool, man. So I could not be more excited, I think. And I think that it looks like they're just gonna completely knock it out of the park again with this one. These fucking dragon wings look sick, dude. Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like it's gonna be fantastic. So I'm super stoked.
It almost feels like a
Yeah.
parody of Doom. Like, you know how people say Doom is like Doom looks like the game that the snotty teenager is playing in a movie, like the fake video game that some kid is playing in his room. This trailer feels like a parody of like graphic games or something. I I'm very excited. I agree. I like that they're changing some things up seemingly. Like Doom Eternal feels like such a perfection of what they were going for. You know, it feels like a big step up from Doom 2016, and I'm like, I don't know how you do a step up from Eternal, so I'm glad that they're doing something slightly different, because I think that's the only place it could go. The fact that you have a shield and you're like apparently can parry guys is just another example of how FromSoft has like completely changed games forever. And I welcome it. Dom, I know you were talking about how there's so much like forward momentum in this game. Like, I don't know if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, because, you know, in Doom Eternal, you're running in circles and ziplining and, you know, jumping around. And this one just seems like it's going to be like all your maps will be just forward based. Like everything's to be forward momentum. Like you're not going to be running backwards that much, which is a really cool take along with their using melee weapons. So
Totally.
I think it, like you said, it's just going to be a huge jump in a different way like they've been doing. I can't play Doom Eternal. I get motion sickness and how fast that game is.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for this because it seems like it's in a straight line and I don't have to worry about spinning around too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks really good. I'm excited.
Totally. Yeah, I'm curious like what the level design is going to be like, because Doom Eternal has such like concise, dense arenas where like exploration is still a big part of it, even though you're in these like tiny rooms constantly. And this is so open. I doubt it's going to be open world. That would be kind of funny. But it could be. They show like a flying mount and shit. Like my comparison is the Halo Infinite campaign, which people didn't like, but I could see them trying to do that sort of style, but in a much better way. But regardless, the arenas you fight in are just clearly so much larger and more open. And it just, from what they show in the trailer, it seems like there's more of an emphasis on like big AoE kind of attacks or guns that have like more of a big, range. So I'm just curious how crowd control is going to kind of come into this game in a way that is at least different in 2016 and Eternal. But I'm excited for whatever it's going to be. S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 has been announced for a little while now. It's gotten some delays, but it is coming out in September, I want to say. I can double check that. The developers famously are from the Ukraine, so obvious, understandable reasons for why this game got delayed. Very sad. But yes, September 5th is when it's coming out. But it looks really good. I've been keeping my eye on it. I played an okay amount of the original S.T.A.L.K.E.R games. I've mostly played S.T.A.L.K.E.R Anomaly, which is the mod that combines all of the games into one map, which is really neat. And it runs pretty good on Steam Deck as well. It's kind of a pain to get it working a little bit, but once you do, it's really good. Yeah, David, are you interested in this one?
Yeah, I honestly am pretty excited for this one. I never really played the other ones too much, just a little bit. Kind of watch people play them, but I really love the style of the games a lot, and just the content, like what they're about too. I think it's really interesting. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to see where they go with this one.
Totally. I think this game,
definitely.
its biggest strength is atmosphere for sure, and it seems like they nail that in the sequel at least. So kind of just the feel of the game, or like moment to moment, is I'm kind of interested. This game, if you haven't played them, it's not necessarily all about the monsters or like creepy combat. Like you can play this the originals for an hour and come across like one enemy, but it's just that encounter is like incredibly intense, and everything leading up to it makes it very unique. A couple things from playing S.T.A.L.K.E.R the first time around that kind of blew my mind to this day is the AI is incredible and a standout. A dude asked me to like go to some building and get some item and bring it back to him, and I'm like, okay, no problem. I get the thing, I come back, and when I come back to the room the dude was in, there's just like I don't know, a marauder or scavenger, whatever you want to say, that's killed the dude I was supposed to come back to and then just shot me in the head and I died. It's just like the world is really reactive to where even someone that gives you a quest can just happen to die from a random dude. And then another thing that kind of broke my video game brain is there was like a group of dudes, and I walked up to them, some NPCs, and I talked to them, and they were like, oh yeah, we're just going like house to house and like trying to find and gather supplies. And so I like walk further down the road, I do something, and I come back, and that group of guys was like 10 houses further down. And I was like, oh, I would be used to them being at the exact same house, and you go up and they're like, hello, we are, going house to house, just same shit again. But the world is like really alive in some really cool ways. So atmosphere and interesting AI. That's what I hope to see out of this game.
Yeah, the game looks so good.
It's running on Unreal Engine 5, by the way, which is one of the reasons it looks so good. Yeah. People have critiqued character models maybe being a little looking a touch dated. I don't really care. Gonna be honest.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, just looking at the trailer, I think kind of not paying too much attention to the character models at this point, because maybe they'll polish those down a little bit, but all the atmosphere and everything else looks so pretty. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how it turns out.
Totally. Moving on to the Nintendo showcase. I got some controversial opinions on this new Mario and Luigi game. It is not a Paper Mario game. It is a continuation of the Mario and Luigi turn-based games, which have always been on handheld. And I really have two minds about this one. They're going for a way more like cartoony, cel-shaded art style, which I think looks really nice in the cutscenes. I'm not a huge fan of how Mario and Luigi look kind of walking around the 3D world, if I'm being honest. But that's maybe a little nitpicky. My biggest gripe is that the game runs at 30 frames per second. And this is a complaint that a lot of people had about the Thousand Year Door remake, is that the remake runs at 30 seconds. The original runs at 60 seconds. So it's weird to have the remake have a downgrade in that sense, even if it is prettier.
Yeah.
Especially for a game that relies on you hitting like, not frame perfect, but doing like kind of perfect timing button presses. I saw a YouTube video where someone did a actual like comparison of the original to the remake, showing how the timing window is messed up in the new one compared to the original, seemingly just because of the frame rate. So this game to me almost looks like a 3DS remake that was ported to Switch. Like it just kind of has that look. Not saying that it looks like poor quality or anything. It looks like very clean. But I would expect 60 frames out of a game that looks like this, personally. And I think that matches the gameplay, too. So I found that a little weird. I don't know.
It's funny that you said it looks like a 3DS game that didn't get well ported, because the game they also Donkey Kong Returns is ported from like Wii U and 3DS, and it looks fucking good.
Yeah, agreed.
That Donkey Kong game looks so fun.
Yeah,
I do feel the same though. I don't like the cartoony character and 3D background. It looks cheesy. I don't like it. Not one bit.
Yeah, I also adore the look they've been going for with Super Mario RPG Remake, obviously with the Paper Mario remakes. It's a little more faithful to the original, and I would say in what I would say is a positive way. But I just adore the look of those 3D remakes so much, for there to be like a brand new sort of Mario RPG. And to me, it looks kind of like a step down visually. Is a little disappointing, but I'll probably still play this game at some point. Donkey Kong Returns does look really cool. Sam and I will almost certainly be playing this.
Look at that. It looks so good.
It looks really good. This is a Wii game, man.
Yeah.
They didn't even have to update that much. Like, the animation quality looks beautiful. Like, I love the way they move around the world. It's all so smooth.
It looks so good.
Yeah. David,
I'm so excited for this.
Yeah, what are you a big fan of the Donkey Kong games, Dom?
I mean, I haven't. Yes, from like Super Nintendo.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't have a Wii or anything like that. So I loved the Super Nintendo Donkey Kong.
Totally.
And this looks exactly like that, but with a whole bunch of cool new shit that I didn't get to play because I didn't have the Wii or 3D. I did have the 3DS, but I never bought this.
For sure. Obviously, this is a remake, so no surprise with what the music is going to be like. But I did not play it on Wii. I just hope the music's good, because that's like such an integral part of the Donkey Kong Country series. So I hope the music is great. It looks like a lot of fun. A new Zelda game was announced. Grandmothers Rejoice. You can call the main character Zelda and be correct. This looks really interesting to me. I think it is the most... I saw it broke some like wish list record on Switch. I don't remember exactly what that is, but it does look really cool. So it's not going to be action heavy in the way that a lot of top-down Zelda games are. It looks like a little more, dare I say, oh my gosh, not Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Tears of the Kingdom-y, where objects you find in the world you can kind of like add to your inventory and then put them elsewhere. So
Mm-hmm.
there's like a level of moving around the world that is really absent in other Zelda games. The fact that you can just like see a really tall wall and just put down like 7 beds and climb over it would like break most 2D Zelda games. So I'm curious how they're going to kind of gatekeep you into going where you're supposed to when you can just climb over a lot of shit. But you can even copy like enemies and put down enemies to fight for you. It just seems really creative for a game that looks like Link's Awakening remake. Like, as far as I can tell, this is built on the exact same engine as Link's Awakening remake and uses probably even some similar assets. But yeah, I love the look of that game. I love the look of this game. And if Nintendo can just go even crazier with sort of some of the mechanics they created for the open world Zelda games in a 2D one, that sounds really fun.
I love that it looks like you're playing with toys almost. Like everything has like that plasticky look to it, and then Zelda also looks like a little figure. But also Xbox makes games that always come to PC. PlayStation just started making games that are coming to PC. Come on, Nintendo.
It's time.
Like, it's time. Yeah, it's time. I want all of these on PC. And emulation's great. I love it, but also make it easy for me.
Man, I would love that. I mean, we'll see, I guess. Most people would have been surprised to find out that in 2024, Xbox releases all of their games day and date on PC. Sony likes to take their time a little bit. I find it funny that Sony is almost operating under like the Patreon model at this point, where they're like, get it 1 year early on Sony, you know, and then expect it everywhere else a year later. But Nintendo is just making too much money, Dom. Apparently, Nintendo, they made this statement a little while ago. I want to say, this was within the failure of Wii U. They were like, we could not make $1 for 20 years before going bankrupt. So they have their little 8-bit walled garden up, and they do not want to let any of that go. They are just making too much money.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I definitely wouldn't hold your breath on that one. I feel like Nintendo's kind of made it pretty clear at this point that they don't really ever have intentions on giving away the rights to these games at all. They're going to probably hold on to it for as long as they can. So, yeah.
But it's crazy because I get it, but it's like PlayStation has like the biggest, install base for consoles, and they're doing it because they want more money, which is also shitty, but also like give your single player games that nobody else can play out to the rest of the world, Like, come on, like I know Nintendo doesn't need to, they're not hurting for it. But, that can just give so many Nintendo is notorious for like re-releasing games and selling them for full price.
Yeah.
Here's another way to do that.
One thing I do find interesting about Sony, though, is that they're still holding on to one of the biggest selling points of the PS4 and I guess even the PS5, since you've got the backwards compatibility, is Bloodborne.
Yes.
A lot of people are really wanting them to kind of port it over to the PC.
Yes.
Me included. So it's pretty unfortunate that they still haven't, done anything about that, but they're doing it for every single other game so far. So that's pretty annoying.
Yeah. I think they're Yeah, we'll see. I think they're waiting on a remaster. I think they want to do a remaster for PS5,
Mm.
which I'm hoping because I would love to play that game at solid 60. um,
Did you see the
but
recent?
so hopefully that's what it is. What was that?
No, sorry. Did you see the recent Miyazaki quote? Someone asked him for the 400th time. Miyazaki, right? It's the
Yeah.
head, yeah. Someone asked him for like the 400th time if Bloodborne is going to come to PC, and he basically said he like pointed to his like executive producers and stuff at Sony, and he was like, I have to be pretty careful with those guys around, but he's like, apart from me, like completely separating myself, I would like more people to play my games. He's very clearly has been like half dodging the question, but very clearly saying he would like to have that happen. So yeah, like
Yeah,
you said, it's
totally.
definitely Sony. It's not him. But the fact that yes, they haven't re-released it on PS5 is pretty silly. And I'm a big Digital Foundry fanboy, by the way. They did a video where they modded a PS4. If you have like a modded PS4 or whatever, you can run Bloodborne at 720p and it just runs at 60 frames, like no problem. So it's not like an engine thing either. Like they can literally just run it on PS5 and it will hit 60 at X resolution, whatever that winds up being. But we'll see. I really hope it happens because I've tried playing Bloodborne on my non-pro PS4 and it doesn't even hold 30 well, which is really sad. I know it runs a lot better on the PS4 Pro, but
I mean, I had it on the Pro, and even at that point, it still does not run very well. It still
okay.
stutters in a good amount of places and can barely hold
Yeah.
30 in a lot of the more intensive zones. So it's pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, while we're talking about FromSoft, quick note on the new DLC as well. Elden Ring, in some ways, runs better on the Steam Deck than any other PC. There are still really bad traversal stutters in that game. They have never fixed it on PC. It is terrible and distracting if you care about it or know to look for it at all. And Valve is so fucking nuts and wanted Elden Ring to basically be a launch title for Steam Deck that in their compatibility layer Proton of taking this Windows game and converting it to Linux, they fixed the stuttering. So you can run around at 30 to 40 frames, depending on how you adjust your settings, and get like almost zero traversal stutter when running around the world. So I've been playing the DLC on Steam Deck and enjoying it more than playing the base game on my PC the first time, which is pretty crazy. I would much rather play it on Steam Deck just to get rid of the stutters.
I'm so tempted to dual boot my PC to have Steam OS like running like fully on my PC.
Yeah, it's
I want to do it so bad.
It's insane how impressive and like all-encompassing Proton is at this point. When the Steam Deck first launched, I remember people being like 60% of your library is like playable, and then within a few months it was like, as long as you know how to adjust settings like on PC, like 90% of your library is playable. And like at this point I've had a PC and been primarily gaming on PC since like 2015. So I have a decent amount of games, and like it is so rare for me to find a game that just does not work on Steam Deck. 95% of the time or something, I even download a game and wind up not playing it on Steam Deck is because it's just not like powerful enough. But it's really impressive. You can game on Linux and play just about every game. It's wild.
Yeah.
So in that Nintendo showcase as well, they showed Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, which came out just a few days after they talked about it in the announcement. and Sam and I have been playing it, and I have some thoughts. We're both really liking it. I think so. My history with Luigi's Mansion is I played the first one. Oh, here, let me say. I did not have a GameCube growing up. So actually, my only experience with Luigi's Mansion is playing it at David's house, specifically. Shout out to you, David. I probably annoyingly would go to your house and be like, can I watch you play Luigi's Mansion again? And I love the first Luigi's Mansion. It is so good. I've emulated it and replayed it since. It is, to this day, incredibly impressive with its atmosphere. I think they were really trying to capture Resident Evil for kids. That's like exactly what they were trying to do. And I think they nail it. Just the sound design is incredible from the first game. The way you like hear his footsteps like echoing at all times. Him humming along to the theme music, of course, is super cute. And even like the sound effects when you like try and open a door that is locked, and it does like it's like very musical in like in its atmosphere too. That game rules. Luigi's Mansion 3, Sam and I have played through it twice now. That game's amazing and is definitely different from the first one. It's a lot more gamey, a little less atmospheric, but all of the mechanics from the first one are really elevated. Your tool set is like so expanded from the first game. It just allows them to put in so many different types of ghosts where you have to, learn okay, well, first I do this move, and that gets rid of his shield, and then he has sunglasses, so I have to, like, suck those off with the vacuum, and then I flash him with the flashlight. Like, that game is incredibly well made. You're, like, going up a hotel, so, like, each floor is a completely different theme, like, almost like a theme park. So, although different, that game's kind of perfection, in my eyes. And then this game is, like, perfectly in the middle, where there are this is my first time playing it. I didn't play it on 3DS, but there are less mechanics to work with than the third one. Kind of makes sense. The third one was definitely like an evolution of this game, but it does have some like handheld quirks, I would say. You don't have just like this big mansion to explore. It's a little more like objective base, where you keep getting like pulled out to Egad's lab, and he's like, thanks for getting that thing. Now you need to get this thing. And it like drops you back into the mansion, which I'm guessing is like trying to make it a little more like bite size for handheld. But after playing the other two games, it feels like the game keeps like, like keeps cutting you off almost when you feel like you're getting things rolling. And then when it drops you back into the mansion for your next objective, it'll be like, find the 3 whatever. And sometimes you have to explore like the exact same rooms you just explored. So that's kind of frustrating. But as I'm playing it more, I'm liking it more. Something that I did not expect is that it introduces like new mansions to you. So after the first like 3 or 4 missions, it's just like a brand new mansion, which is pretty fun. We did have one soft lock. Sam played through an entire like level and then got to the boss, and it had like 2 phases basically, and she got through the first phase, and then the second phase didn't start. And we were just like in an empty room, like going around trying to like interact with anything we could, and had to like pull up a gameplay video, and then had to restart the entire level again, which was like 30 or 40 minutes long. So it's kind of weird. There's like no autosave. It's just like each level. So yeah, that was lame. It like reset us like 40 minutes or something. But if you liked it on 3DS, they did a really good conversion. My only complaints are like mechanics-wise and gameplay-wise from the original game. The way they've updated it for Switch is like basically as good as you could want without, them like 1,000% remaking the game in the Luigi's Mansion 3 engine or something. All of the like, I don't know, 3DS is such a interesting console where, they like updated a lot of geometry and textures and stuff, but 3DS, as long as you like upscale the resolution, so many of the games look really, really good. So
Yeah.
yeah, they did a really good job of updating it, and I would just say the game looks really, really clean, which is nice.
Yeah, it looks pretty. I want to get it. I That's the thing too though. That's why I kind of wish it came out for they released things for PC is that I have a Switch, but I almost never buy games for my Switch.
Yeah.
And it kind of sucks because I would love to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of the same way. The last one I bought was Tears of the Kingdom, so I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
it's been
Yeah,
been
the
a
last
long
one I
time for
bought
me
was
too.
the Metroid Prime remake remaster.
Well, Dom, I'm glad you brought that up. The last announcement of the Nintendo Showcase was Metroid Prime 4. They left it for the last reveal, and they hit us with a like, one more thing, folks. And the I don't know, the hype is real. This trailer looks great from the kind of pace of the gameplay to the visuals, even over the remake of the original Metroid Prime. It just, I don't know. This trailer is kind of unbelievable that this is running
Yeah.
on a 2016 console, handheld console that used an old tablet
Yeah.
CPU. But yeah, what'd you think of this trailer, Dom?
I think it looks amazing. Like everything about it just looks crazy good. But no, I'm so excited for Metroid Prime. Metroid Primes. I didn't have a GameCube, but my brother did, and we lived separately when we were younger. So every time I was going to my mom's house, I would play Metroid Prime, and it's just such. I love the, FPS Metroid. It's amazing. I love playing as Samus and a first-person shooter, and that game is amazing. Been waiting for this game since it was announced in 2017.
Wow.
And I'm so excited to be playing it next year.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's super exciting to see them finally releasing some gameplay.
Yeah.
David, is there anything you like hope to see in this, or did the trailer like put any expectations in your head?
I think my expectations of the game now are probably a little higher than they were before
Yeah.
because previously they did a kind of similar thing that they did to what was that game? Oh, it was actually Doom. They completely scrapped Doom at the time because they played the game and they said it wasn't fun. And they did the same thing with this game too, as far as I remember. So now that they're actually finally showing off some gameplay for it, I think that's a really good sign, especially considering that the gameplay looks so polished and refined already.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's plenty of stuff they didn't show us in the trailer too. So I mean, I would say my expectations at this point are definitely much higher. And it's a lot less like an Elder Scrolls situation at this point, which is great. They're not just telling us the game's coming out and then 7 years later we still got nothing on it. So I mean,
the 12-second shot of mountains didn't make you think that Elder Scrolls 6 was almost going to come out?
Yeah, I mean, it's so crazy, man, that they can just do something like that and then not say anything about it for another 8 years. But I really hope that it ends up being really good. But if it's not better than Skyrim, I mean, that's kind of the bar at this point. So
I hope it is. I feel like I hope it is. I don't know. It's just their stories are becoming the same. But luckily, I feel like with the the high fantasy of Elder Rings or Elder Scrolls. They have more freedom, whereas in like Starfield and all of the Fallouts, it's like, oh, my dad's gone or my mom's gone, I'm gonna go find her. Oh, plot twist. um, so I hope it is good too. But yeah, we'll play it one day.
Eventually. Yeah, I man, with Starfield being not a catastrophic failure or anything, I'm not trying to paint it like that, but just like unbelievably tame and safe. I really hope they learn something for Elder Scrolls 6. And the fact that I imagine Skyrim is known for being so open that I would think with Elder Scrolls 6 they won't make the same mistake as Starfield and kind of make it closed off. I feel like they inherently can't. But
Yeah, I mean, after seeing the whole Starfield debacle, I mean, it really does just seem like they're going downhill, unfortunately. So hopefully they can turn it back around and make this a good game, I guess.
Totally.
Yeah.
Just make TV shows, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, they're technically involved with making like Doom and Doom Eternal,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind
Mhm.
of.
I mean, so at that point, and I think other previous games in the past, so maybe just kind of stick to that for now.
Yeah. I mean, they were involved in Dishonored too.
Mm-hmm.
And those are fucking gone.
I mean, yeah, wasn't Dishonored like one of your favorite games, Jaydon?
Yeah, I love Dishonored. I think it's $3 on sale right now. Yeah, Dishonored's great, especially the first one. Second one I didn't like as much, but maybe I just didn't give it its due diligence. The first one is unbelievably good. All right, guys. Well, we made it through our list. Anyone have any closing thoughts on any of that? You don't have to.
No. Oh, I do have one more quick mention of a game that I'm very excited to purchase.
Yeah.
The Marvel vs. Capcom collection.
Mm.
I'm so excited for that. That's nostalgic. I'll never play online, and please don't ever ask to verse me, because I'll lose. But I love those games so much.
All right, sweet. Well, thanks for listening, y'all. If you have, this is a new thing. If anyone has any questions for us, I guess video game related, but it can be anything. Ask which one of us is the best kisser. That's fine. I don't know. No, ask us video game things in the comments. And maybe we'll answer it on the next show. Yeah. How about that? Cool. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.